Welcome to Pensions and Investments, where the intersection of global business, investments, and law come alive. I am your host, Atara Twersky, and today I will be talking to Liat Aronson. Liat is the co-founder and managing director of Horizon Labs Venture, a Web3 investment company. Liat is also the chairperson of the Zell Entrepreneurship Program at the Reichman Institute in Herzliya, Israel, where she is one of the individuals responsible for identifying and nurturing new business talents and leaders from a pool of outstanding business students. Liat is the graduate of Berkeley University, California, and holds both an MBA and an LLM. Liat, I know you're a woman of many, many talents, so I'm really excited to be speaking with you today. How are you this morning?
I'm good. It's always like I hear all those explanations and I think to myself, oh, is that really me?
Is
But
that
yeah,
you?
I guess
It really is you. So let's start with your company now. Tell us a little bit about it, what Web3 is for our audience who may or may not know what that is.
um yeah. So without getting into the rabbit hole of kind of what Web3 is, HLV is a Web3 advisory, which means that we help companies, whether they're kind of already in the space or really new to the whole idea of what Web3 is, and help them mostly launch tokens. And you kind of think like, why do you need a token? So basically, a token is the Web3 equivalent of a loyalty program, but managed in a decentralized way. Um, and I am on the verge of going into the rabbit hole, so I'll stop right there. But I think if you, our clients tend to be projects or like games that are looking for a way to engage with their community. And that's probably the best way to stop
Okay,
there.
so it has to do with crypto. Yes?
Um, it does in the sense that it's built on the same underlying technology, but it doesn't have to do with crypto in the sense that many of our clients, um, their communities are being run with this underlying technology, but they don't have to engage in actually ever buying cryptocurrency by themselves. But it is crypto in the sense of the technology that's underlying it. So
Okay.
cryptography.
Okay. So give me an example, if you can, of like who would one of your clients be?
Okay, so a perfect example, and we have a few, are companies in the gaming space, not gambling, but kind of whether it's multiplayer games, et cetera, where different players play together on the same game. So in this environment, sometimes players like to trade swords or skins or anything else that happens in the game.
Right.
And what Web3 allows is peer-to-peer interactions. So you don't need all of the engagement to happen within the game, but you can do it outside. Like an example of what this would be like is your Delta miles. Instead of
Okay.
collecting them and only being able to use them on places where Delta would like you to use them, whether it's um, their own travel or collaborations that they have. The idea here is that you and I could trade our Delta miles, and maybe I could trade you my Delta miles for your United miles, and allow us to have peer-to-peer interaction without the kind of the main uh, um, a middleman facilitating it. So
Okay.
the world is not quite there yet. I think it will get there. I think a lot of things are going to have to happen, but in a niche market, there are some players that are, exploring this, and those are our customers.
Okay. So you're a venture capitalist. So the idea is you're investing in new companies, new technologies. You're really quite cutting edge in that respect.
Yeah. So, and there's two parts. One is this interest in particular in Web3 based technology, but I also sit from an investment perspective in two other hats. One, I've been an active angel investor for probably about 20 years.
Oh,
And
wow.
I also am since 2015, when Sam Zell very generously donated some money to create a university venture fund to invest in Zell program alumni. So the program that I ran for many years and I'm still chairman of has many young entrepreneurs that come out with ventures either right out of the program or some years after. And this is a fund that invests strictly in those ventures. So also oversee that, and we've had about 40 investments under that hat.
Oh, wow. Okay. Over the course of how many years? Is that over 20 years?
Um, the investments have started since 2015, so it's
Oh,
almost 10 years.
okay. Yeah, so I'm actually really interested in that because, I am a securities attorney. So we actually are sometimes at the other end of, companies and, the wrongdoings and how we identify fraud and how CEOs of companies actually go down that route when, they're starting out with so much promise. So I'm curious from your end, how do you identify companies with promise? And ensure that they are, doing the right thing and also being super creative because, right, that's the goal, creativity, I would imagine.
Right. I think it starts with the team, and that's always been the focus, at least for the Zell program, from the initial review of candidates that join the program, through helping them kind of explore their own leadership. And then when they leave the program, to the extent that they have something viable and the team is strong, investing in them. So it's really supporting individual growth and development. I think a lot of investors say that they invest in teams.
Right.
You know, whether they do or they don't, I'm not, no judgment, but it's certainly somewhere that we put a lot of focus on because we're generalists and we don't know, we wouldn't know all the spaces that Zell alumni are and creating companies in, whether it's health tech, cybersecurity, um, more and more AI companies. So we have to trust in a team rather than the technology or
Right.
the particular market use case.
Right. Right. Because you can't be expected as chairperson or director of any program to really understand the intricacies of each company, right? You just have to understand like who the people are, how innovative are they, what's their vision, and then try to help them, I imagine, get there. Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I do think that as a director in a company, you then have kind of a larger fiduciary duty to the company, to the shareholders, to the whole, all the stakeholders, in the sense that on the board and as an investor in the company, you do get to see the financial documents. You do make sure
Right.
that there are controls instituted. So, I mean, it's not just like, oh, you guys are nice guys, we love you. But
Right.
it does start with the people.
Right. Well, the numbers don't lie, right? I always say that, as an attorney in this space, the numbers have to always make sense. And I think that's your bottom line, no matter what. But I do think that more and more, I think the world is realizing, that people who make up teams really are the people who are going to create amazing things if they're an amazing team. So I think all of those things work in concert with one another. So I guess I'm also curious, are your companies Israeli based, US based? Is there an intersection of that?
Um, yeah, so the ZEP fund, the Zell Entrepreneurship Program Fund, invests in Zell program alumni from Reichman University. Technically, about 25% of the student body comes from all over the world. And so we wouldn't be limited to someone who is not Israeli per se or doesn't live in Israel. Having said that, most of our companies are founded by Israeli alums, whether they live in Israel or not. And we probably have even a few companies that are registered as US companies, as Delaware companies, even though the founders are Israeli and maybe one of them is in New York. So we don't make a distinction as far as we're concerned. The company can be in Thailand. And we do have a few companies in Europe, in the States, as well in Israel. They do have to be Zell program alumni. So they do tend to be mostly Israeli.
Okay. And what's your criteria for allowing students in this program?
Well, we just right now chose the latest cohort of members, 16, and I can tell you the process is long and very arduous. I think it's about 8 months long. Starts with an application, uploading a lot of information, and interview process where we have alumni interviews, faculty interviews, the program director interviews. And then we have a boot camp called the Summer Induction Program, or the SIP, where about 30 or so finalists go through a very intensive, almost 2 weeks of venture creation exercises.
Wow.
In order to see how the team dynamic is, how they operate under stress, and their motivations, and just get to know them better. They get to know us better too. If you always invariably drop out, and the ones that stay are selected into the program. So we really just are kicking off the next class today.
Okay. Wow. That's amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
And are you looking for companies with an exit strategy or long-term holders? How does that work?
An exit strategy is definitely not a necessity. It's sometimes something that we ask about just to show if the entrepreneurs has a sense of um, of the market environment, the stakeholders in the ecosystem, less about like, if I give you a little money now, like how am I going to see the end of it? I think venture is long, and especially the earlier stage you go, and the younger the entrepreneurs, probably the longer it's going to take for it to really even you know even get to the product market fit way before it's anywhere near profitable. So and an exit strategy. So I think with that in mind, I would say that the exit strategy is not so important, except for understanding that the entrepreneur understands their market.
Okay. And are they always in charge of raising capital as part of what they do, or is that something that you at the university help with? How does that work?
We've got a close relate. I mean, Israel's very tight knit anyway, and the program
Yes.
has been around for a long time and has had a lot of success. So we do have a lot of, um, you know, friends in the network, and we do make warm introductions. But ultimately, the responsibility for raising money is definitely on the founders.
Wow. Okay. So that's like a huge
Yeah.
undertaking. So they really do have to assemble a team, right? Of somebody who's good at the actual products, the service,
Yeah,
and then the actual capital raise, which is a whole other skill set.
absolutely.
Right. It's a lot of
Absolutely.
moving people.
Otherwise we have to be, we're careful of kind of your world. We don't want to be we're not broker dealers, so we don't want to be involved in a way that would be, inappropriate.
Right, right. It's a really interesting. So tell me, before that or concurrent to this, you said you were angel investing?
Yeah, so I've been investing in companies, because of my interactions in the ecosystem. I've had the opportunity to invest in some companies. Some of them are actually also Zell alumni companies, whether Zep Fund invested in them or not. Um, but and even before the Zep Fund existed, I invested in a few Zell alumni companies. Um, and some are, just companies that come into my world through my, you know, interactions with other venture capitalists and other investors, and the entrepreneurial ecosystem in Israel and beyond.
Okay, yeah.
My
I
my
mean,
last
yes, I'm sorry.
no
Your
my
last.
last investment is in a company called Blue Sky, early on in the first seed round, and it is a company that is based in the U.S. and the founders are U.S. and so I'm not only focused on Israel.
Okay, got it. But you live in Israel, correct? Is that where
I
you,
do.
where?
I do. I live outside of Tel Aviv in a place called Ramot Shavim. It's by Ra'anana. So but everything's very small in Israel. I'm about 20 minutes away from Tel Aviv.
Right. Oh, nice. Beautiful. And how long have you lived there?
I came to Israel for what was supposed to be a gap year about 33 years ago. The gap,
And you
the
never
gap
left.
is extending. Yeah, yeah. But in the meantime, I've been in Israel more years than I, was in
They're
LA
not.
where I grew up. So yeah.
Oh, nice, nice. So, Israel in particular, I know is at the, forefront of so much technology. How do you identify a winner? Like, I'm sure you've had some misses where you're like, oh, I should have invested in that company.
For sure.
So how do you, like, are there criteria? Are you going a lot with your gut? Is it a combination of those two things working together?
So I think for me, it's a combination of the quality of the team, of the people that are founders, the connection they have to the market and the product or the problem that they're trying to solve. So,
Okay.
how connected is it, and whether they have the credentials and kind of the ability to take it forward, and are they set up and able to take the company in several stages, including raising money. So it's not just about creating a great product and finding product market fit. It's really being able to also support the company through its growth.
Right. And bring everything to fruition, I
Right.
would imagine.
It's super
Right.
not easy, and many companies start doing one thing and kind of pivot to somewhere else, and so you're really investing in their ability to kind of balance between, on the one hand, being stubborn, um, or maybe the better word is persistent, and on the other hand, also being able to be agile and flexible to market needs.
Yeah, I think that's well said. I think determination and flexibility, the combination and the push and pull between those two are really what you need just to be successful in life as a human and also as a business person, most definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think
So
it's true
what's
for
right? So as children, do you have children?
I do. I've got four kids who are uh I have three boys and a
Ah.
princess, and my youngest is 20 and he's serving in an elite combat unit in the army.
Oh,
My 23-year-old, yeah, so I'm in denial. He's
that's very
doing his
stressful,
army service.
right?
Yeah, it's I think it would always be stressful, but it's particularly stressful right now. My 23-year-old is in reserves over this last year, but has finished her military service and is now working at a pre-army program to help kids from more kind of challenged backgrounds
Mhm.
have a step, like a kind of right foot forward into the army. And my second oldest is in New York at BlackRock. He studied at the University of Michigan and ended up staying in New York for now.
Oh,
And my oldest, who just got married, is now
oh,
in
congratulations.
yeah, he just got married in Israel, but he and his wife moved to St. Louis. She's doing a master's degree in economic development at WashU. Super proud of her. She got an amazing scholarship to there too. And he's looking
Oh,
for his first job as a mechanical engineer. He just
oh wow.
graduated his undergrad.
Wow. So what's your advice
So
to them? To be business people, professionals? I'm curious because it's such a changing world and university landscape keeps changing. So I'm curious what you advise your own family.
I advise my own family and also all of the Zell alumni that I've had the privilege of kind of mentoring over the years, that to to do something that they love and that they're passionate about, and to find that kind of magic place between what you love to do, what you're good at, and what can support you in whatever needs that you need to do. So yeah, it's easier said than done, but I ultimately would never really push anyone to do business or do investments or do
Mhm.
this. I'm 54 myself, 55 very soon, and I'm not sure I'd know what to advise myself on what I should do when I grow up. So I certainly can't do that
That's
for
still changing
others.
and evolving for you, right, Leah?
Yeah, yeah,
But
exactly.
that's the
You
beauty
never
of
know.
it. That's the nice part, I think, right? Like to not be
Right.
stagnant. I think so. That's, I think, the interesting part about entrepreneurs is that they are constantly involved in many things and always evolving into new spaces and new interests and new areas.
Right.
Um,
Keeps it exciting.
Right. And I also think, speaking about passion, that sometimes, passion can come from both directions. So sometimes you can become passionate about something that you've mastered and that you feel good about. and that you're feeling successful in, even if it didn't start out as your passion, quote unquote, what people, normally think of as their passion. So I like to remind people of that, because I think that's an important thing, is that not everyone gets to go into their passion, but there's
Yeah,
other ways to find meaning in their work and really enjoy what they're doing. Um,
absolutely.
so thank you. Well, thanks for joining me. I'm really
Thanks for
happy to
having me.
speak. Yeah, no, I'm so happy to speak with you, because I'm really happy to just highlight interesting people and interesting companies and what they're doing. And I'm so happy that you were here with me today. So have a great rest of your day. Thanks for coming on, and bye for now.
Bye. Thank you.